Hi everyone. Thanks for jumping on a Monday. I wasn't sure how many people would be available at 3 o'clock on a Monday. So a little bit of odd timing. How's everyone doing? How was the holiday? I had some time to go live on my YouTube channel this morning. And then I had my client appointments. So I thought if I had time after those, I would go ahead and get on Instagram here. So looks like the numbers are better than they were for a while on Instagram. I know that after Facebook bought Instagram, people were sort of complaining about the lives, about how they really had to like schedule them in advance and let people know that they were going to be doing them to get to get anybody to know about it, to get any viewers to show up. So it looks like today at least it's working out okay. So hi everyone. Yes, a couple of you are catching me twice. I was on my YouTube this morning, so I'm glad I had enough time. I just threw dinner in the pot, and I'm finished with my client appointments for today, and I have like an hour sort of to myself here, so I thought I would jump on. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. How's everyone doing? How was your Thanksgiving, if you celebrate that where you're at? Mine was great. I really loved staying at home. I talked about that this morning on my YouTube channel. It was really nice to not have to drag the kids around and, in and out of the car, in and out of the car, and go to like 2 or 3 different houses. And like, it's just so chaotic and exhausting. So, hi everyone. Oh, thank you. I'm going to try to. There's a lot of comments right now. So, hi everyone. I'm glad you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Oh, yes, that's a great attitude to have. It's always important to show gratitude all throughout the year. It helps a lot with your magical practice too, and your outlook on life, and just sort of your overall well-being. I think that it's really important to make sure that we are in control of our neural pathways with our positive thoughts and not our negative thoughts creating our neural pathways. So I am making chili tonight for dinner. That is one of my favorites when it starts getting cold out, and we're finally supposed to get some snow here this week. I don't know if that, from what, I'm a big weather junkie. I studied meteorology in college, and I don't think it's going to snow this week, but that's according to my, I have my own tools that I use and my own websites that I use, and I don't think that we're going to get the snow that they said we were going to, but we'll see. It's not an exact science, of course, so. I like the way you talk. Well, thanks. How's everyone doing with their Monday? Back to work or sort of back into the swing of things. I'm always glad to. I have a comment here. Oh, about using white sage. I think that it makes sense. She's asking about people talking about the closed practice of using white sage because it's an American Indian ceremonial herb. I'm assuming that that's the basis she's coming from. I think it's important to honor that aspect of it, obviously. I don't think by anybody else using it, though, is detracting from those traditions or that heritage of any type. So I don't think that that is really the intent behind it, to be malicious. I think what's most important is that you are purchasing it from some place. The place that I purchased my white sage from is a sustainable farm of it. So I think that's the most important thing, is to make sure that the practices that you're supporting with your dollars are that those are ethical. I think that's far more than getting into the whole, you're going to talk to American Indians that probably feel like that is something sacred to them and personal to them, and that they don't think other cultures or people should use it. And you're probably going to talk to some that will say the opposite of that. So there's no real cover-all, catch-all thing there, and I'm not going to speak for a people that I am not a member of or associated with. We do have a lot of Native Americans here in Michigan, and I have gone to many of the powwows personally and spoken with many of them personally, and I have not ever had any of them even remotely bring up sage or say anything about anybody using it that is not in that tradition. So not in those that of that heritage or that cultural practice. So there was somebody asking about the lunar service, and do I have a gut feeling about when the coronavirus issue will end? I think we're gonna go all the way through 2021 exactly how we are right now. If you want to know my feelings on that. Okay, the lunar eclipse service. Yes, Ann Chica 77. Yes, if you have done some services or some personal work that has not come to fruition yet, the working with the lunar eclipse tonight would be perfect to help sort of peel away those layers or any blockages or anything stagnant holding your work back, so that it can sort of get launched and you can make progress in the directions that you want to move in. So, hello everyone. But yeah, somebody was just asking me my sort of my feelings on coronavirus or COVID in 2021, and I think it's going to be much the same as it is this year. We're in the second wave now, which is far worse, as you all know, and then we're going to have a third wave, which won't be quite as bad, but we all need to keep doing exactly what we're doing right now, which is staying safe and at home and wearing our masks and washing and ventilating our houses and taking our thieves vinegar and our fire cider and our elderberry and our echinacea to make sure our immune systems are strong. Yeah, there's a lot of really important astrological things coming up. The Saturn and Jupiter being the closest to the Earth that they have been, and I think, what is it, like 8 years or something like that? I do think that that's going to be a really important goal setting time and really push through time. I think that's going to be really, really important for you to really map out and plan what you want out of 2021. Big or small goals, a lot of goals or a few goals. It's going to be because you're going to have the sort of the good fortune and the abundance and the prosperous push of Jupiter, and then you're going to have the proactive planning, diligent side of Saturn. So it's going to be a great day to really like get your shit in order and get it planned out and get prepped for 2021. So this lunar service won't take my boyfriend out of my life because he has a blockage, right? Because no, nothing like that. Unless that's your goal. You work with lunar energy. The lunar energy doesn't control your life. It's not like the moon doesn't come down with like an arm and like pull your boyfriend out of your house. So no, we work with the lunar energy. It doesn't control every single aspect of our life, like who is physically in our life or in our relationships or in our home. Yes, you can do that for Marie Laveau. I actually have a whole video on my YouTube channel about honoring Marie Laveau. If you want to watch that video, that will go through a lot more than what I would have time to go through right here with you. But yes, water and prayers are always acceptable offerings. Food, water, fresh water, incense, fresh flowers, And your own words from your heart, of course, are the best. Those are the best offerings. Yes, it's absolutely okay to do work during a lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse is going to be very much road opening, obstacle removing, shedding energy. So if you have had things that are stagnant, that are holding you back, if you have an area you cannot progress in, if you have some things you've been wanting to leave behind, some self-sabotaging behaviors, um, maybe some bad habits, this is a good time to work on admitting those, acknowledging them, confronting them, and releasing them. Yeah, and Chica, that's an acceptable petition, yes. I do work during the lunar eclipse. I actually had a full day of appointments today. I think I had maybe 7 or 8 appointments today. 8 appointments. Yes, if you are doing releasing work, that is a good time to do it, is on the eclipse. We're supposed to be able to see it where we're at. So I'm hoping for a clear night so I can get a good view of it. Of course, you can, like, you can never get a good photograph of them for whatever reason. I think you need a special camera or something, but lunar goddesses are usually associated with abundance and prosperity. Not in all cultures, but in most. You can set out water today to be charged by the eclipse, so you can use that for cleansing and release and renewal properties. Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations on your interview, Three Merry Widows. Yes, I think it's going to really aid in manifestation. So I think tonight, the next 30 days there are very significant dates coming up. The 5th, the 21st, of course, New Year's. Those are all, I think it's a great momentum to have for going into 2021. So, oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube videos. I don't often have time to make them, but I think there's about 100 videos on there. So, that's a pretty good catalog, I think, for somebody who is starting out, or if I have some on there on some more obscure approaches and subjects. So I think that I try to make it helpful and useful. Yes, I use Thursday and Sunday for prosperity work. Yes, and today, Monday. That is actually a lot of how I set up my work. I use the whole month, and then I use the days of the week to focus on a progression in my spell work. So the first week, I would start my work on Monday, and I would use that to sort of open and clear the way and make sure there are no blockages. Then the next week, I would sort of use like Tuesday and Wednesday for adding strength and power and victory and communication behind my goals. And then I would move to like Thursday and Friday, and I would use those to bring abundance and prosperity to my goals, because prosperity isn't only reserved to just making money. We need prosperity in other areas too. That's a lot of reasons that there are problems in relationships, is money issues. So there's a lot of times you're going to have to address those money issues in order to take the next step to resolving your relationship issues. So I work throughout the month with the days of the week when I am doing a working for myself. So I spend a whole month getting the basis set up down, and then then I, of course, you monitor your results, and then I do maintenance work. So I am renewing my altar and making ancestor spirit work candles today. Oh, that's great. That's a fantastic thing to be doing today. That's a good time to do that anytime, but Monday is a great day to I know everybody always complains about Mondays, but it's a great day to really set your intentions and your outlook, your view on the week ahead. So yeah, most I after 20 years of doing this, I can say, I'm not going to say most, but I would say about 70 to 75% of the relationship issues that I hear, which is mostly what I'm contacted about, I can about 70% of it I can trace back to a financial issue in the relationship. So because that's what I mean, look, there's, what are we at, like a 65% divorce rate? I think it went down a little bit. And the number one reason for divorce is over finances. So, I mean, it's just logical that is, I mean, those are, the proof is in the numbers. So numbers don't lie. We know why people get divorced, so we know the divorce rate. So, it's really important to address, financial issues in a relationship. And by financial issues, it can mean one person feels inadequate, one person feels insecure about how much the other person is making, if the other person isn't doing as well in their career or their place of employment, that can lead to insecurities. There's all kinds of reasons behind that. Not just like, oh, we don't have enough money. It goes so much more deeper than that. You have to really peel back the layers. So yeah, it's easy. It's definitely, there's astrological influences. They can really wipe some people out. Absolutely. If you're not like used to working with them, or just on occasion, there's just a really big push, they're just so strong that, they can be really exhausting for people. So that's not terribly uncommon. Yes, especially, yeah, the uncertainty right now. I receive a lot of emails from people right now that are like, I just feel like I'm blocked, and I just, I have anxiety about things. And it's like, well, that's absolutely normal right now. Everybody feels that way. So it's not, I don't really think that, people are contacting me wanting to fix that, but the problem is that is just what we naturally have to go through right now, right? We're in like a fight or flight stance. And that because of everything happening in the world right now, so we just have to work through it. There's not any way to get rid of it, because it's what everybody's experiencing, and we can't get rid of the things that are causing us to have this experience right now. We're trying, obviously, but they still exist. So if you're feeling uneasy or sort of stagnated, or you have more anxiety than usual, or you're having some old fears creep back up, or maybe you're having some, concerns about your finances that you haven't had in a long time, all of those things are totally normal, because everything is in such a state of upset right now. So just go with the flow. Allow yourself to feel and acknowledge those things. Don't let them take over your life. But those are normal. It's normal to be fearful and scared right now, because it is a fearful and uncertain time. So there's nothing wrong with any of you for feeling that. I'm sorry, Cabra Barbie. There's a lot of, the screen changes about every 2 seconds. So I probably am not seeing your comments and questions, because I'm trying to speak and read and keep up at the same time. So I apologize. I did see that comment. Yes, you don't have to put your birthday down. A full name is usually enough. But a lot of people do like to include their birthday on petitions. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I certainly, I mean, I strive to be helpful. I'm not really interested in doing the videos to waste people's time. I think that's, people get really frustrated with me for not doing like spell work videos. But and the reason I always tell people not to ask me, because occasionally I'll make posts about, ideas that people want to see for videos, and people, I mean, it's like 99% of it is people asking for a protection spell or a money spell or a love spell. And for one, those are way too broad of subjects. Like, you can't just say a love spell, because there's like, that could mean a million things. That can mean self-love, that can mean reconciliation, that can mean for marriage, that can mean to you know, release a bond from somebody. That could mean to draw new love into your life. That could mean to make progress in your relationship. There's like a million things that could mean. So, there's so many spell videos on YouTube that it's really redundant for me to just make more spell videos. So I don't do that. I would rather stick more to the theory and the practice. If you light a blockbuster for my relationship tonight, how would I go about doing it only in my relationship? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. If I light a blockbuster for my relationship tonight, how would I go about doing it only for my relationship? Well, you have to specify. You are in charge of writing your goals and your petitions. So you would specify. Yeah, I agree. Unconditional ascension. That's exactly what I tried to do. Sorry about that. My lighting went out. Oh, again. It might be. I think this is on a timer. And I think maybe it's had enough of me. It saw my face enough today and it's shutting it down. Yes, you can still make moon water tonight. My birthday is coming up. May I book a reading on that day? You can always put in an order for a reading and request a specific date. I'm not the reader. I haven't done readings for 4 years for my business. So my assistant Diana has handled all of my readings for 4 years. So that's all explained explicitly on the website. And if you put an order in for a reading and request it on your birthday, I'm sure she would try to accommodate that for you. I got a candle from you, but no instructions. It's a money candle. Yep. My site states that I don't include instructions because I don't know what you're working on. So I can't handwrite instructions for everybody. I'm sorry. I don't write spells for the public, and I send out several hundred orders a week. So my site is very clear in the terms and conditions that I don't include instructions. But there's lots of information on the website and in my FAQ section that links you to videos on how you can set up your own workings. If I put a picture of my boyfriend or my blockbuster, then it will remove his blockages, right? I should put a picture of him and me under the blockbuster. Again, you write your petition, so you decide what your goals are, not me. I can't. If you want it to remove his blockages, then you would write that as your petition. If you want it to remove both of your blockages, then you write that as your petition. If you want it to remove your blockages, then you write that as your petition. So I can't tell you what to write because I don't really know what you're doing. But you are in control of your petition. Nobody else is. So, hi Diana, my assistant is just got on here. Anybody looking for a reading? Somebody was just asking. So, Art of Casting. You may see her name in the comments right now. Her IG handle. You can follow her. She's the one who does all of the readings for Conjured Cardea. So how do I celebrate Yule? This year I have about, I think, 9 appointments booked on Yule. So I'll be celebrating probably I canceled my coven meeting for that time. We're not going to get together just because I don't feel it's safe. And so I'll be doing some sort of outside solitary work, very simple candle work myself, but during the day I have appointments all day for clients. So I try to book client work on days like that because I really want to use that energy of the wheel of the year. So yes, exactly. I see a lot of you are getting it. At Art of Casting. So that's Diana, and she handles all of the readings. So she also offers rune readings, and we're doing New Year readings right now. So if you want to get ready for 2021, that's a great place to start. I'm sorry, I don't have any help. I don't have much information on Kernanos because that's not my pantheon. I'm sorry, I can't be of more help. But I don't have much to do with Celtic pantheons. Sorry. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Looks like we're getting a few new faces on here. So how's everybody doing with the Christmas shopping? Are you getting close to done, or are you just starting, or do you hate it? Hi Katie. The book I actually just, if you're referring to the ebook that I just put out, that's just an ebook. It's not anything that's getting published. Like as in like a physical book, but I am in the midst of writing an actual an actual physical book. I don't know when that will be finished, but it really wasn't a decision. It's something that I've really worked on for years in my head, and then I started making an outline for it probably at least two or 3 years ago. So, but I've always had, I probably have about 10 empty like journals that I jot down. I have one I use while I travel, and then I have one I put down video ideas. I have one that I put down like oil and product ideas. I have one I put down like book ideas. I have one that I put down. So I have all these sort of books with like random ideas in them, and I finally started to organize them into an actual book. The ebook is on. There's a lot of information out there on candle work, but I don't really see. I see just a lot of things sort of glossed over that are really important, and I don't see a lot of there's specific techniques that I feel work very well, and that's why I wanted to put those out in the ebook so they're really accessible for people. Oh, great. Thank you. Bloom in and out. Bloom in and out, Linder. Prepped really early, fingers crossed. I haven't forgot anything since we were in full lockdown in the UK. Yes, I heard that. I have a friend who was in London. He's not there anymore, but he told me they went back into lockdown, so I am aware of that. We're back on lockdown here as well. All of the restaurants are closed and everything, so... I start my Christmas shopping in like September, October at the latest. So, because I'm like super, I'm a planner by nature. I didn't used to be that way when I was really young, I think, and then I got really sick of it. And so I'm like the total opposite way, and I'm much happier that way. So I think I'm probably about 70% done. My husband's all done. My kids, I think I have to do more for my son than I do my daughter. I think my daughter, I'm a little bit further ahead on hers. I was further ahead on my son's, and now I'm further ahead on my daughter's. So, oh, that's wonderful. We usually do that for the winter solstice or Yule exchange with my coven. We sort of all try to hand make things, pardon me, to give to each other. We exchange the gifts, the five of us. Witch and Goddess Pod. Your skin is amazing. Is it cosmetics, magic, or are you just blessed? Well, I don't, I have on mascara right now and lipstick, obviously, and I have some bronzer on, but I don't wear foundation. So, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment. What deities do I work with? Am I working with currently? I've worked really with the same pantheon and spirits for about the last 20 years. So I'm pretty specifically devoted to the Orisha and the Loa, and then I'm a devotee of Marie Laveau. So today, it's Monday, of course, so it's Eleguaz Day. So I was working with him a lot today for my clients to help open pathways for their work to be successful, whether that was for their relationships or for their employment, them keeping their jobs or whatever it was. I had some work for I had a lot of love work today, at a lot of different relationship aspect work today. So, hi, Lotus Mind Body Spirit. Nice to see you, honey. How to pass my test for work. Yes, you should work with Maman Brigitte. She rules academics. So I recommend that you look her up on my website and you can find some offerings to make for her. How to make moon water correctly. I don't really think there's an incorrect way to do that, right? I like to take a mason jar and set it out in the moon and sort of put my energy into it and around it. Put some candle work around it and sit with it, put my energy and intent to it and let it just absorb the lunar energy overnight. So I don't think there's an incorrect way to do that. If there is, I haven't seen anybody, like gatekeeping anybody else about it. So, well, I mean, how would I know? I don't get on things like that. So I'm not online. I don't get in groups or on chats or anything like that. So I wouldn't know anything about who's saying what about anything. For the test, was it you asking for the test? Let me look. Her name is Maman Brigitte. Bridgitte. It's French. Do you drink it, or what do you use moon water for? It depends on what moon phase you're charging it in. You can drink it, but that's not what most people do with it. Tonight is the eclipse, so you would use that water for sort of like purification and cleansing in your household, for removing blockages, shedding stagnant energy, shedding things that have been holding you back, helping you release bad habits, helping you release self-sabotaging behavior, helping you release negativity, things like that. For the winter months, do you find yourself shifting and working more with seasonal herbs? I'm definitely an herbalist, and I absolutely work with seasonal items. Yes. Right now, I am very much into evergreens. I have them boiling on my stove. I have them hung around my house. I'm rolling candles in them. I'm making oils from them. I'm using all types of winter berries in my workings. Wild berries, I find really, especially ones with thorns, will lend a protective energy, but they lend a really light, fruitful, abundant, bright energy to the work. So yes, I absolutely transition throughout the seasons with what I use as offerings. I'm very much in tune with that. So, do I have powerful prayers? I guess so. I mean, my prayers usually work. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what you mean by that. A prayer is like something you say from your heart, right? Like when you tell your deity, how much gratitude you have for it, and you thank it for everything that you have. So I guess that, I think that's powerful. No, it's not Breed, the adoring crow. I'm saying Maman Brigitte, not Breed, not the Celtic goddess Breed. Some people connect them, but they're not the same person. They're not the same entity. I'm talking about Maman Brigitte the Loa. Can Marie Laveau share an altar with Erzuli Freda? To my knowledge, I have not had any issue between the two of them. Marie Laveau kind of asserts herself as sort of like the top figure on any altar, so she's not gonna like really, if from my working with her, she doesn't even really acknowledge if anybody else is on the altar. So do you have a book that have those types of prayers? I say my own prayers. I don't read other people's. I don't read prayers from a book. I say my own prayers. I make up my own prayers from my own heart and my own mind, because that's how I achieve my goals, is with my words. So I'm not really sure what you're asking. If you want a book of prayers, I'm sure you can find them online. Yeah, some people will connect to them I will say it's usually people who are practicing a more like European path will connect Maman Brigitte and Saint Breed or Goddess Breed. But I don't really think it's so much vice versa. So if you're practicing, an African traditionalist path of any sort, whether that's Yoruban or Santeria or Haitian Vodou or New Orleans Vodou or anything like that, it's they. Some people will acknowledge it and some people will not. So it just depends. Hi, Moon Daisy. Hello, everyone. I do work with Lama Dama. I have worked with her for like probably 15 years or more. So when you're a metaphysical business owner, when you're a botanica owner, it's almost like impossible to not have Lama Dama like welcome herself into your home and be recognized in your home, in your space, in your business. So if I buy your 70 candles, would I find info on what to put for offerings and what days to light them? You can, my YouTube channel has a lot of videos covering that type of the correspondences. So you could just, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's over 100 videos on there about correspondences and candle work and many things. Yes, I understand that. I think that there are a lot of people of mixed background, myself included, that are wanting to honor. Many of us are coming from mixed backgrounds now. I think most everybody is mixed, whether they know it or not, to some percentage. And that's very common now that you see people. You may identify as one way or the other, but you're wanting to incorporate all sides of your ancestry and your heritage on your altars, and I think that that is absolutely the way to go. I don't think it's right to deny any part of your heritage, no matter what you look like or no matter what other people say to you. It's your heritage only, and you get to decide how you want to honor it and how you want to live your path. I've never heard that it's necessary for her to come into your dreams. I've never heard that before, that she has to like reveal herself to you in your dreams. I've never heard that personally. Well, and it's not really anybody's. I mean, we could sit around all day and like look at each other and try to guess what everybody is made up of, right? But it's kind of stupid and kind of a waste of time because you're never going to be able to figure it out. And I think in a way, people do that to like sort of satisfy their own curiosity, but curiosity is really just an excuse for like wanting to be really self-serving and selfish and just um get answers to things that you're not really entitled to. So saying, "Oh yeah, I was just curious," that's kind of bullshit excuse. Like, don't be curious about somebody's if you're curious about somebody's like background or their heritage or what they practice or whatever, and they're not a public person, pull them aside personally and ask them that, or send them an email or something. I think it's really rude and presumptuous for people to get into that online. And I just think that it's so like embarrassing to watch it happen when people do it to other people. It's just, I'm mortified for them. It's like they're so out of line that it's just mortifying for me, you know? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the channel. I appreciate it. Sorry, my voice is getting a little raspier than normal. Yeah, especially if people don't want to be labeled. Some people, they don't, just like there are people who don't want to identify as a gender now. There are people who probably don't want to label themselves, especially being mixed background, mixed races. They don't They don't want to, they don't want a label. And I think it's good that we're moving away from that and trying to just sort of observe what the person does and like how they act, how they treat people. Because the rest of it is really like not any of our business, and it's like really surface, shallow stuff that's really not important. Like what somebody identifies as their gender, or what gender they want to have a romantic relationship with or sleep with, or what their ethnicity is. Or I just think all of those things are really weird questions to ask somebody. Like I would never ever do that. I just think it's really, like I said, I just find it mortifying when people ask. It's like, I am so important. You should tell me everything about yourself just because I want to know. It's like who are you? You know what I mean? It's just so bizarre to me. Hello, Cabral Barbie. I am Yoruba, and I don't have a problem with other nationalities learning or practicing our spirituality or culture. Well, I think that is, whether people like it or not, I think that's the way the world is moving. So whether people want to progress along with it or not, I think that is what we are moving towards. First of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with educating yourself about another religion or culture or country. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what you go to college for, right? When you go to college, you typically take some type of course that teaches you about someplace else in the world. So, I mean, if it's okay to learn about what they eat and what they farm and what's mined there, what their natural exports are, and, their historical customs and traditions, then why is it so wrong to learn about their religions too? Not saying that you're going to adapt every part of it into your life, but what's wrong with learning about the religions too? I think we should. I think that makes us more well-rounded, accepting, tolerant people to learn about other religions and seeing where they correlate and where they line up with your own beliefs or your own culture, or seeing what you identify with for whatever reason. So education is for everyone. So I will, that's just how I feel about it, period. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Our moon phase is important in spell work as well as days of the week and hours. Yes, I think so. Moon phase is not so much in hoodoo, but the days of the week, and I follow the days of the week and planetary hours. The moon phases I will use for my own personal work. I can't use it for client work just because of my client load. I have between, say, 7 and sometimes 12 clients a week if I have emergency work to do for people. It depends if people contact me last minute. So I obviously can't wait till the next moon phase to get theirs in because I already have a 4-week wait. So, so that doesn't work that way for me. But yes, and I have many videos on that if you're interested. I also just put out an ebook that touches a lot on how to work with the days, for your candle work to get the most successful results from your candle work. It looks like I'm finally catching up on everybody's questions, so that's great. Ah, my favorite tarot deck, can't pick. I have I bet you I have close to 40 decks, so I could not pick one. Right now, I'm using this a lot. You'll see it on my Instagram stories. This is called the Earthbound Oracle deck. It's very small. And if you're not into Oracle decks, that's fine. But this one really resonates with me a lot, and I find it to be very spot on. So I have a lot of really beautiful decks that I don't resonate with at all. But I keep them because I am a collector of the artwork. So, and then sometimes you'll get things that are a little jewel of surprise like these, and you're like, oh, and you get them and they look so simple. And then they are really, really spot on for me, especially as like indicator cards. Like when you do a reading for yourself and you want to sort of fine tune, like to use an oracle deck, then, you know, on top of the reading as to sort of like a clarifying card, you know, those work really well for me. If we book individual work with you, but we don't get results, what can we do? Well, you should send me an email and we can discuss what's going on, how things have progressed, where you're at with your situation, and how we can address it. So that's the best place to start, is emailing me directly. Any suggestions? My daughter is a sensitive, to help her with her bad dreams. Have you like cleansed her bedroom? And there's a few other things I would recommend as well. But yeah, I would start with cleansing the bedroom with bluing. So you can find that on my website. You can find the ingredients to make your own, or I have it pre-made on there. I would cleanse it with bluing and Florida water, and then you can put either a pan of bluing underneath the bed, or you can put four glasses of bluing, one in each corner of the room. So that's a good place to start. Love work has such a low success rate. I don't know. I don't find that to be true personally. I think that is, I don't think that that's a fair generalization. Celestite crystals are said to bring peaceful dreams and lavender oil. There you go. Yeah, I would definitely start with cleansing the room and then doing some protective, maybe some protective mojo bags in the room too. Juniper, rosemary. I would put like some obsidian in there, probably white sage, maybe some iron pieces, like some four-sided iron nails. Evil eye amulets are good for that. Yeah, if you want to email me, I can probably give you a more concise list. Oh, somebody says selenite helps. Yes, that's what bluing is. Kind of like indigo water and bluing ink tabs, kind of. It's a copper sulfate is what it is. Yes, for around the room. It's on my website. If you want to go on my website, you can read more about it. But you would clean the room with the liquid, like you would mop the room, you know, or wash the walls or the windows. The thresholds are really important. So that there are windows in the rooms, those are considered thresholds. Doorways and windows are considered thresholds, and those should be clear. Those should be cleared really well, cleaned really well. And then if you want to smoke the room, I would recommend frankincense because it has exorcising abilities, as in exorcism, not as in like jazzercise. All right, looks like I'm pretty caught up here. I'll take any last minute comments or questions, and then I think I'm going to jump off of here. Here are my kids running down the... Yes, my ebook is available on my website for purchase now. I do recommend opening the windows and the doors, yes, when you are cleansing with frankincense, because you want to remove anything that it's sort of attaching to or that it wants to remove. You want it to go out of the house. So resin or stick. Frankincense only comes as a resin. It's a tree resin from the Boswellia tree. So that's the only, you can only get it as a resin. If you're buying frankincense stick incense, it's just scented. It's synthetic fragrance oil. Do you have any suggestions for burning preferred incense without a charcoal disc? You can't burn incense without loose incense without a charcoal disc, because that's just setting it on fire. You want to warm it, like grilling your food. It's the difference between grilling your food on a grill and then just setting your food on fire. So you're turning, one is turning it into carbon, the other one is releasing what's inside of it. Do I need individual offerings for each deity? Like how many deities are you acknowledging a day? Like how many? I have 2 main working altars that I put offerings on every day. So I don't know how many you're working with. If you start the charcoal discs outside and let the fuel burn off and then bring them in, then that smell won't be in your house because the fuel burns off. It's kind of like cooking with wine, and then you the alcohol is going to burn off of the wine. Would I ever travel to Africa on a spiritual journey? How do you know I have not been to Africa on a spiritual journey? Two to three, one. Yeah, I think if you do, you can easily do 2 things of water or 2 things of rum or whiskey or 2 small offerings of food. That's not hard to do at all. So I think 2 is fine. One last question. Is it true that ancestor altars bring other spirits in your space that can disturb your house? Not if you're setting it up properly and you make very specific boundaries as to who is welcome and who is not. So that's part of setting up an altar, right? Is that you make a statement and a declaration just like you do in your life, where you say, okay, only this type of person or this type of spirit is invited into my life and my home, because I won't tolerate any other type of treatment or nonsense. So it's the exact same as you handle your regular life. It's just on a different realm. It's not any different. Papa Legba and Elegua, the same energy. I mean, they're counterparts of each other. One's a Loa and one is an Orisha, but I'm not going to say they're identical. I recently learned a little about Papa Legba. Is that how you spell it? Very interesting. Yes, that is how you spell it. There are different ways there are different spellings too. There are many ways of spelling. Depends what country you're in. So I'm just going to scroll through and make sure I'm trying to get everyone. Looks like I got most everybody. Well, thank you guys for your time, for showing up here today. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week. It's always nice talking to you and hearing from you guys. You guys always have such very interesting questions, and I love to hear how you're doing and hear about your life. And I'd like to get on these lives because it's not orchestrated, it's not like getting on there and then talking about like one subject for 20 minutes. And so the lives are really nice. Oh, sorry, Whiskey. I am just by nature, I try to go on at the top of an hour. But that doesn't really help you, because if you're getting on at 4, you could think I just got on. So, but yeah, thanks so much for jumping on. And I might be on Wednesday again. We'll see. I think I'll have some time. So, but you all be blessed, be safe, be protected, and be healthy. Okay. And I will see you all hopefully Wednesday. I'll try to post a time I'm going to be on. Looks like maybe noon or later works out a little better for people. So I'll try to keep it sort of somewhere in there. So, okay, guys, be well and be blessed. Bye.